Hire more good coaches. If you value your performance and you value your time, hire a good coach. Now, I will say there are a lot of coaches out there who are offering their resources and their time in exchange for your money. There's more bad coaches, there's more mediocre coaches than there are good coaches, and there's, I'd say, very few great and remarkable coaches. I've worked with a bunch of different coaches, only in the last couple of years too. When I first started training, I didn't have any coaches I was working with, but I took the initiative and I had the self-responsibility to educate myself. If you can't hire a coach, if you can't afford a coach, that's okay. But if you want to make progress and you want to save time, you want to maximize your performance, you have to have the discipline and the drive to self-educate. There's resources all over online, everywhere, where you can teach yourself about diet and nutrition and reaching your body composition goals and training, no matter what you're training for. All the resources are at our fingertips. They are all out there. But it's all useless if we don't take the initiative to self-educate, go find those resources, consume those resources, and then apply those resources to our training, to our diet, to all the things. But if you have the ability, you have the resources, which may be a luxury for some, hire a good coach. A good coach does not have to be extremely expensive. I will say that. I have hired many great coaches, not even good, great and remarkable coaches that are not ridiculously priced. I would say the first coach I ever had who didn't charge me anything was Dale. Dale from the Field House in Temple, Texas. He took me under his wing. He mentored me. He taught me all about strength training. I mean, to this day, I remember how he taught me to approach my 1 rep max. And he considered it a 10-5-3-1-1-1 approach. So the first set was 10 reps. And the second rep or set, let me back up a second. The first set was 10 sets. No, the first set was 10 reps. The second set was 5 reps. And then 10-5-3-1-1-1. So that last set was 1 rep of your projected 1 rep max. The 1 rep max you were going for on that given day. And that would be considered your 100%. So if 500 pounds was what you were going for that day, that last set of 1 rep was 500 pounds. The previous set was 90%. The set before that was 80% of that 500 pounds, then 70%, 60%, 50%. So that first set of 10 reps was 50% of your projected 1 rep max for that day. 10-5-3-1-1-1. That's the way Dale would coach me through a projected 1 rep max for a max out day they would have me do. I love that approach. I've shared that approach many times over the years. But Dale was someone who taught me things that I didn't know. And there's something about having a coach who's monitoring your progress, who you can talk to, who is providing you feedback in real time based off of your mechanics and your injuries, your progress, your successes, your failures, your hits, your misses. It's really powerful. And I made a lot of progress in a short amount of time while working with Dale. Very grateful for Dale, still to this day. And I've worked with other coaches over the years as well. I mean, you guys know I brought Jeff Cunningham on the podcast multiple times. Jeff has been my running coach since my first sub 3 marathon. And Jeff has helped me go from a 3:24 marathon to a 2:39 marathon from 2021 to 2023. December 2023 that we hit that 2:39. But I couldn't have gotten there without Jeff. I mean, I guess I could have, but I didn't know what workouts to do. I didn't know how to approach tempo, lactate threshold, critical velocity. I didn't know what paces to hit, what workouts. Having Jeff's guidance and mentorship made the biggest difference in my running. And I wish I would have had the ability to forward think earlier on when I first started training to hire a coach. Because when I started hiring coaches, it made the biggest difference. I made massive leaps in my performance. Massive leaps in my performance. But they have to be good coaches. One of my favorite things to say is you have to be careful with what advice you take and who that advice comes from. Everyone's willing to give you advice. Everyone's got an opinion. But if you follow the wrong advice for long periods of time, you're going to stay in the same position. You might even decrease your performance or your progress. But if you have the right people in your team, you have the right people in your corner, you can make incremental, exponential progress.